Rob and I would like to welcome Megan Voeller here again with us.
There.
Thank you for coming.
Thank
Happy
you.
Valentine's Day.
Likewise.
And where is red or pink?
I don't know. It was a
Are you
gold
anti-Valentine's Day?
No.
Yeah.
I had a great Valentine's Day cookie earlier.
Did you really? What are your plans for Valentine's Day this evening? Or is that a bad question? Good question?
No, I'm going to meet up with my boyfriend later.
Very nice. See, that's good. Beat up
Oh,
on your
that's so
boyfriend later
sweet.
or
No,
meet up with?
Meet up with an
Oh,
M.
okay. I was
Yeah.
just checking.
But
you never
Megan-
know, because some people celebrate it different.
You're
Yeah,
here to
different
talk
strokes
about
for different folks, man.
You're here to talk about Extreme Makeover Museum Edition. This was a great article which you wrote, and there's other museums spawning off of this. So why don't you talk about this?
Sure. There's the Tampa Museum of Art, which is the image that's on the cover, right?
Which
there's
makes sense.
there's a total of 5 projects that are sort of going to be under construction in the next 5 years. St. Petersburg's Museum of Fine Arts is actually just about done. They're finishing some of the inside details on their new wing, but it exists. It's built, and they're
Wow.
going to open it next month with like a free weekend of admission
Oh,
and
good.
something called an art parade, which is a whole new event that they're doing.
We heard they were talking about the art parade, and everybody walks with an. I mean, we heard they were on a couple weeks ago talking about this, or somebody else was.
You dress up in some kind of wacky art
Yeah.
costume. They suggest that you model your costume after a painting in the permanent collection or a sculpture, and then you march down the street. The one that they do in Cleveland attracts like tens of thousands of people every year, and they have like stilt walkers as well as musicians. So in the long term, that might be where that's headed. So the MFA is about to open next
Yes.
month. TMA, I don't know if you guys have driven down Ashley Drive. It's
Oh,
actually,
yeah.
they're like tearing the building down. Yeah.
Yes. Stanley Sadowitz, I think, has done a wonderful job working with Ken Rollins and all the people over there and the fine folks of the city to really make something that is going to be absolutely incredible.
But
in
would
our
you expect
community.
anything less from Stanley Sadowitz? I mean, is he the most? He's amazing.
He's amazing. I think it's fantastic. Can we continue?
Oh, he's great, and the rendering on the cover of the issue is just gorgeous.
I don't think a lot of people have probably read newspaper articles about it, heard about it in the news, But when you start seeing how it's going to be this cantilevered building and how unique it's going to be, it starts really making it exciting. It's very cool.
Absolutely. I mean, I think people are going to be very proud of it when it's
Yes.
done.
Be a landmark. So those are the 2 of the projects. Can you remember the 3 other ones?
There's the Art Center in downtown St. Pete.
Right on.
The Salvador Dali Museum is going to get a new building.
Bingo.
And then
But that's a little bit far out, isn't it? The Salvador Dali's like 3 years by the time.
those 3 that are sort of in the middle are all going to happen by 2011.
20. Okay.
Or, yes. No, Salvador Dali I think is opening fall 2010.
Wow.
So those will all be done in a pretty short
That's quick,
window.
sure.
The one that's hanging out and is sort of far off in the future is USF's Contemporary Art Museum, and that's over in the 3 to 5, possibly beyond.
What about
year
the
Wow.
Kid
But at
Museum?
least it's going though. At least it's all
Oh, yeah.
slated to happen.
They got last week. They got an agreement from James Rosenquist to house a study center for all of his prints that he's ever produced in his career at the new CAM building, which is huge news because
Wow.
James Rosenquist.
He's a local.
is,
Wasn't he? Was he a local guy that actually helped in the USF art department? Was a big part of it, or was he just a local artist that made good?
I think they've given him an honorary doctorate. I mean, I think he
Oh.
has a good relationship with the school, and he does have like a part-time home up in, I believe it's Pasco County.
Okay, all right.
But he is a big, fancy New York artist.
Now, isn't there a kid museum on the
horizon?
horizon?
Schmancies, I love them.
Isn't there a kid museum on the horizon, or the Tampa?
There
we
I
don't
don't
need
know
kids.
much
All right,
about
let's
the
talk
Kid
about
Museum,
something
but
else.
yes, the Kid Museum is going to be the neighbor of the new Tampa Museum of Art.
What's the projected date for that?
That I don't know.
Your kids will be adults, so they'll have to go to the Tampa Museum of Art.
My
by then. Let's
grandkids
go.
will be going there. So, all these exciting things happening in the Bay Area with museums. Do you see, because you're the cultural artist, and so, but do you see a whole rash of everybody trying to redo their museums? Is it to get more visitors, and why is it that everybody's redoing them right now?
Well, I think that's a good question, and I don't really know. I mean, it's interesting that just as these projects are about to break ground, we may or may not be going into a recession, right? But I think that some of the good times that we just went through have spawned these projects.
Yes,
When-
which is a nice thing to see, that when the economy bolsters, that people really rally to help their community. It's a shame
Absolutely,
that right
yeah.
now, it might be a little bit of a lackluster grand opening because people might,
But it'll work
might
out
be
in
a
the
little
long
bit-
run,
but
right?
Ultimately, that's what we plan for. We don't look for next year. We look for 10 years down the road. You know what I'm saying?
I think you have to. You have to. To me, one of the most interesting things to see will be will private galleries sort of step up as a result of the institutions beefing up? Will
and will
private
it bolster
galleries
that business? Will it be a place where now
Exactly.
Tampa could be that hub? The Tampa area can be a hub.
Yep.
You know, Megan, before we go to our next break, tell us some of the see and do's that you think we should do over the weekend.
Let me think. See and do's. You should definitely check out some art stuff right here in Centro Ybor at Urban Outfitters. Theo Wujik and Josh Pearson are showing off some of their art. That's Friday night.
Very cool.
I think it's 7 to 10.
Yep.
Urban Outfitters has been so great, letting artists decorate
Come
their
in,
windows.
sure.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
yeah.
then on Saturday night in Hyde Park, there's a place called Tampa Artist Emporium, and they have a bunch of great, talented new artists on view there.
Well, and for
fantastic.
any other C&Ds that you want, you can't decide what to do, pick up your Creative Loafing. Everybody, they're everywhere. There's no reason why you shouldn't have it. Megan, thank you very much
Thank
for coming
you.
again. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Megan. Have a very wonderful Valentine's Day
You too.
with your boyfriend. Appreciate that.